I'm still stuck in the old motions you taught me, the tiny movements and mannerisms that ground their way into the material of my gray matter with the sequential passing of days. They say a human forms a habit in 21 days, whoever they are. I don't think they know this kind of habit, this mechanic repetition that anchors me to this plane of existence, this autopilot safeguard. Whatever. I don't need them. I've become something of a misanthrope anyway. Like every other morning for the past month, I sit on the porch with 2 mugs of coffee and wait for you to come by and pick me up. And just like every other day, I'm late to work. I don't know why Dave hasn't fired me yet. Maybe it's pity? Maybe he's just waiting for the perfect, most spectacularly miserable day to come by so he can pat me on the shoulder with a smile. Hey, you're fired. Work passes in a mind-numbing blur of key tapping, paper shuffling, and coffee trips. I expect you to walk in at any moment and apologize for being late, so I try to keep 2 hot cups of coffee on my desk at all times. By the end of the day, my garbage basket is soggy with cold coffee and filled with white, indecomposable cups. I wonder what the maids think. After work, I walk to the acoustic and sit at our table to wait. The staff has been bringing me a cup of coffee every day with this crestfallen, pitying look on their faces, and I never understand why they don't bring 2 cups, never mind the look on their faces like someone died. I wait for about 2 hours, give or take, in the deliciously cloying atmosphere, and finally decide that you're probably waiting for me at my place. When I get up and leave, the cup remains, full and cold and dead. When I get to my place, I open the door, cursing the damn thing as I try to slam it shut. When are you gonna fix that frame? It's been a few days, you know. Coat goes on the chair, cell phone on the table, keys in the coin tray, and I'm off to the coffee pot to make sure there's some fresh Java for you when you finally show your face. I walk to the living room, toeing off my socks on the way to the couch. There, I flop down bonelessly, throw down the paper I had picked up for you on the way home, and put my fine motor skills to use by pressing the power button on my television remote. The news is usually on. I never bother to change the channel from one day to the next. From there, I move to the shower, and as always, turn the water on full blast and stand beneath it until it goes frigid. Damn the rest of the tenants of this dilapidated building, the hot shower belongs to me alone. When the water is so cold that my legs turn purple and I can't keep my appendages from trembling, I turn it off and listen. The only sound in the apartment is the percolating of the coffee pot and the drone of the man on the screen. Dripping quietly, I look blankly at the 2 brown bottles boldly declaring the words Java shampoo and Java conditioner sitting on the counter by my own 2-in-1 unscented shampoo. Where are you? Emerging from the bathroom, I turn the radio on and mute the television. The radio station is still tuned into the rock station you love so dearly. I slip into an old t-shirt of yours that's worn to the point of being barely legible and declares, none too modestly, in age-crackled white block letters across the chest, "Shh, no one knows I'm a lesbian," and a pair of cuffless sweatpants. I turn the radio up the teeniest bit and walk back into the kitchen, glaring venomously at the door open a tiny crack. Shoving a chair in front of it, I hear the noise of the coffee maker and turn it on, brandishing the hairbrush I had forgotten to put down. I look at it for a split second, seeing the dark hairs sticking out on the edges, knotted and broken, and I feel a strange disappointment. If you were here, you would spaz out and demand with godly might that I clean my brush out. I clean it out anyway. Setting the brush down on the counter, I pull out your favorite mug, which says simply, "I heart coffee." A sip of coffee hasn't passed my lips for almost a month now. I'll never let you know it, but I really don't like coffee at all. I only drink it when you're here to drink it with. Maybe it's because you love the black liquid so much that I endure the horrible stuff. I really don't understand why. I grab my own blank blue mug and then fill the two to the brim, the steam curling into the air in evanescent patterns that whisper away in a moment, folding in on themselves. The scent fills my throat and my eyes sting with it. Walking to the living room with a mug in each hand, I have to pick my way over clothes and shoes of yours scattered on the green carpet, and by the time I get to the couch, I've decided that when you move in next weekend, you won't have to move much. Putting the two mugs down on the folded newspaper, I smile a little crooked smile and tip one of your shoes over on its side with my bare foot. You know, the black ones with the chunky heels you bought so you could finally be taller than me. I remember being at the store. The only thing I foresaw you doing in them was tripping and breaking your neck or some other vital area of your skeletal structure. And when I voiced my little observation, you laughed and said you'd get lessons from your younger sister before attempting pedestrian travel. When I hear the neighbor pound on the wall, I know it's 12:30, and sure enough, bam, bam, sounds the human cuckoo clock. Standing, I stretch and groan. It's Friday night and you're not here yet? Letting out a sigh, I grab the 2 coffee cups and take them into the kitchen. Pouring the coffee down the drain, I watch it swirl away and I get this nagging sense of loss that I can't quite place my finger on. I decide abruptly for some reason to shrug it off as I set the mugs in the sink with a soft clinking noise, and retreat to the other room, snapping the light off on the way out. Back in the living room, I turn the radio off and stare blankly at the silent television for a moment, the picture not even registering over the static in my brain. I walk over to the screen and push the power button, plunging myself into a moment of oblivion, then slowly swimming my way back up into the world as my eyes adjust to the shadows. Walking into my room, I half expect to see you lying there, scrunched in a nest of sheets and blankets, but the bed is empty. The blanket's cold. The fan is whirring, as usual. You and your I can't sleep properly without the fan going issue. It's all right, though. I think I'm developing an I can't sleep properly if you're not here by me issue. Crawling into the bed, I clutch the pillow you lay your brown-maned head on and bury my face in it. I can smell the faint remainder of your coffee-scented shampoo, and my ribcage seems to shrink around my lungs and heart as my eyes begin to sting again. My whole body tenses up, my muscles taut as bowstrings as I screw my face up, clenching my eyes shut. Why am I crying? As the tears subside, leaving throbbing eyes and sticky cheeks, my body feels heavy and weak even though I'm not moving a muscle or twitching a tendon. The breath of the fan feels good over my flushed skin, and I let my eyes slip shut. A cold, soft feeling washes over me, and I can see your vivid emerald eyes behind my swollen lids, smiling at me. They say people can die of broken hearts, and I decide hazily that maybe for once, they might be right. Out in the living room, a neglected newspaper lays on a dark wooded coffee table, unfolded not even once by its particular consumer. The headline, in all capital New York Times bold font, proclaims in its own detached and formal way, "Hate crime victims' killers still unknown after 1 month." Below the headline, a beautiful woman smiles out, her green eyes sparkling even on the thin, dull paper, and her short chestnut hair curled under her cheekbones. Across her face, a ring of coffee speaks her name.